No, Tough Tzadik Beis is very interesting.
Nobody do it, but we'll know about it.
A little bit, it's interesting. Small, short thing, and then we'll go to the next thing, which is Sefiras, the Binim of Avelos and Sefiras Ha'omer. Simin Tov Tzadik Beis, Tainus Sheni v'Chamishi v'Sheni Acher Hamedim. The Tainus of Bahab. Bahab is Beis, Hey Beis, means Beis is Monday, Hey is Thursday, Beis is Monday.
Today was those.
Today was the last day of Bahab.
No, actually, this was
Noyegim Medinas Elu, this Anis Sheni v'Chamishi v'Sheni. In these countries, the minig is to fast Monday, Thursday, Monday, after Pesach, v'chein achar Sukkos, shechoishishin, Shema mitoich mishte v'simchas hamoyed bo lidei aveda. Maybe from all the simcha of the moyed, we came to an aveda.
Which Medina is he talking?
In Ashkenaz. Only Ashkenaz.
yeah. They saw, I think, of one. They saw, I think, of 1 million. The Shomer Shabbat, the Dadim Slikas, and value of Nunka for Baham.
Kamoisha mitzinu be'iyuv. Yes, they do it there. Kamoisha mitzinu be'iyuv. Fine be'iyuv. Shal'acha shikifu yimei mishta v'simchas banov. After he had days of mishta and the simcha of his children, hela oilis misper kulam ki amar ulai hatu banai. He brought oilis corresponding to all his children, because so maybe my son sinned. Avala acher shavuos ein noyegin lisanis givan shein el beis yamim ein loch Hashem echad. We're not worried about shavuos. Within amidas slichis va'anenu ben goyel l'roifei v'kris v'yichal izbar v'sim tov kusamov talks about tanesim there. We wait after Pesach till Chodesh Nisan is over. We don't want to fast Bahab during Chodesh Nisan. It means that last week, Beis, Monday last week, Thursday last week, and today was the last day. After Sukkos, you wait till the entire Tishrei is over. Lefi shehu meruba memayadais. Since Tishrei has a lot of mayadim, so you wait till the whole Chodesh Tishrei is over, because it became a month that was Mekudesh. Even though the minig in these countries is that you're allowed to fast during Tishrei after Isur Chag, however, could be keveya a formal tainus of Bahab during Tishrei they did not want. You give him mishabeirach, misha'ana amen al zayin tzarech l'kabel oy the tainus v'mincha. If you answer Amen on this, you don't need to accept the tainus in the mincha before the tainus. Amen is not a neder, it's not chayiv, you obligate you to fast. Even though when you said Amen, you had a mind condition that you're going to fast. If you do not say with your mouth, I'm going to take upon myself the tainus, you don't need to fast. Because we do Shabbos Mavarchim, it seems like it was a special procedure. I don't know if it goes on still those Kehillas and fasting Bahab. That they had the special bracha that they said.
Mishaberach, it's brought in the Siddur.
The Siddur says it, Mishaberach.
Yeah, but you don't do it.
What's the Nusach? But over here, so it's a special Mishaberach, but you don't say it Shabbos Avarchim because we're already doing Kiddush. We're doing already Berachas HaChodesh. And Tinin levarich b'Shabbos haba. We wait till the next Shabbos.
As long as Nisan or Tishrei, you don't do it.
V'acher ois Shabbos v'schilun v'sanis b'hab. Yesh milei chason v'yis Shabbos al levarich b'hab. Levarich b'hab shenegel levarich b'mincha kisat Torah. The bris milah or chason of that Shabbos that you need to say bench b'hab. You bench it. You do bench b'hab. You don't push it off. But the minhag is to bench it by mincha after kriyas haTorah. So if he eat a bris milah shar so this mitzvah times b'hab mitzvah lechol in tzarech haTorah klal. If you had a bris milah or another sudas mitzvah on the time is b'hab, the mitzvah is to eat and you don't need haTorahs nedarim to do that. Doesn't seem like it. It doesn't say.
In the gram.
Yishaberech havasei levar mitziyak meishana dav shlomi yivarech es kol mishi kabel of sanet sheni v'chamishi v'sheni chad HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishim yatzil mekol tzara v'tzukah v'kodeg machri shabach atzal moistei mekabel tfilaseim miyazin shavasei mekol yisachem v'nei mamei shekayach. We know that certain Hasidim fasted. Most of the Klal Yisrael does not fast Bahab anymore.
Who doesn't fast?
Most of the Klal Yisrael does not fast Bahab anymore. There are Yechidus Segula that still fast Bahab. I know some individuals that fast Bahab, not too many. They go to Shema Shabbos
They have
the Rebbe would fast Bahab, would have his own minyan. That day he wouldn't daven with the oilons. So he would have privately by him a minyan in the Gan Eden HaTachton outside his room. It would be a small minyan that would just come in, and the Rebbe would to do Kriyas HaTorah and Michoel.
Most of the time he was davening down there, huh?
a lot of times don't do.
Yeah, or upstairs. But he would when he had in the later years. Until the later years, he didn't daven with a minyan most of the week. He Kriyas HaTorah would always come out for Kriyas HaTorah Monday, Thursday, and he would stay till Torah was put back. But he did not daven with a minyan. What? He didn't say. And he would, but the later years, the Rebbe was very makbid in davening with a minyan, and he would come out. The last few years, he would come downstairs and he would daven with the olam. Starting from when his Rebbetzin was nifter, so he davened the whole year, and he continued davening. He had davened for the Amid, and then he continued davening. He davened in the house for a year. That was interesting. And Haggah, he didn't just people davened Shiva in the house. He davened the whole year in the house. The whole year he davened all the tefillas in his home. Although he would go for Shabbos, he would go to 770, and he would daven 770 for bringing in 70. But the whole year, the whole Lubavitch headquarters transferred to the Rebbe's personal home, because the Rebbe didn't leave his house the whole week. So he was answering all his letters, and all his responses were from his home. He gave out dollars from his home that year. Everything was from the home.
Our presence?
Yeah.
I had this food that I got married in Tesnis, and I was the only chosen. I davened in the Rebbe minyan. With Mama's the first one next to the Rebbe. When the Rebbe finished, he went on and gave it to me to see.
What year was this? So you were in the house.
In the Rebbe house.
This is right.
Usually the Rebbe gave it to Rebbe Lerner to give it to you. Here the Rebbe gave it to me by hand. Finished davening, closed the siddur, gave it to me.
You kept it?
No.
He gave you the big siddur?
Yeah.
His regular siddur?
Yeah.
All right.
The regular siddur he used.
Yeah.
And you do a tape and then you give it back?
And my father, I have a video. My father told the Rebbe, "This is my son is getting married today. Another down. Give me a brocha." He said the Rebbe davened that year. Everything was in the house, but Purim, everything was inside the house.
And see
The house turned to be like a train station. Like they open the door in the kitchen, the back. You come from the front, you go to this. Non-stop people. There's a line of people.
Looked like the bracha was with Kayemet.
Bakim Olad. Taf Kuf, Taf Tzadi Gimel.
Dinim hanoyagin b'yemei ha'omer oboy tes seifim. Noyagin shel lisa isha shel yistaper ben Pesach la'atzeres shemisabim al chof dalad alofim Talmidei Rabbi Akiva shemesu b'yamim halalu. Minig is not to marry, not to cut hair in Pesach and Shavuos. We are an availus of the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva that passed away in these days. Avol muter lase sheduchim v'lo yinisuin shema yikadmenu acher. Muter to make a shidduch without a nisuin, meaning just an engagement, because maybe someone else will take her. Muter gam kein lase seuda la'acher sheduchim. Not only the shidduch itself you're allowed to make, you're allowed to have the suda afterwards, the engagement party.
Tavor.
Yeah. Or after the kiddushin. But don't make dancing and circles. If in a case of a mitzvah, you're not allowed to. Obviously, in a case where it's not a non-mitzvah, you're not allowed to. Somebody says you're allowed to make a party with your friends, but as long as there's no dancing and no extra simcha in this party. Now, kiddushin over here is not something we do today separate from nisuin. Times bygone in the times of Chazal, they would separate kiddushin and nisuin, or erusin and nisuin. Erusin and kiddushin were done together. So they would do kiddushin maybe a year before, and a year later have the erusin, have the nisuin, the chasana. Today we don't do that, and we do it together under the chuppah. We do both, and we separate the process by the reading of the ksuba. Toysus explains this that the kriyas haksuba, there's no mitzvah to read the ksuba. Reading the ksuba does not accomplish anything. The signing of the ksuba was signed by Adam. Adam signed the ksuba before that the chassan is taking upon himself to obligate himself in the ksuba. And that's already signed before. It's a signed deal. He just has to give it over to her. The fact that we read the ksuba, the reading of the ksuba is to separate between the erusin or kiddushin and the nisuin.
If it's Hashem, will be zoche to see your brother very soon in Shabbat.
Amen, amen.
I thought the yichud was the chupah.
Yeah, so the birchis nisuin is the Shabbat brachas,
Is that Hashem?
and the yichud, and some also hold that the chuppah, that they stand under the chuppah is koina, and then there's the yichud. So we to all the shittas. We have chuppah, and we have the birchis nisuin, which will say Shabbat brachas, and then there is the yichud room. Yeah, correct.
The Eidim that on the chuppah, they are the one that go to the
Yechot.
to the Yichud.
I was aid a couple times.
Although I'm not sure if it's really connected. Does it have to be the same item?
Usually it's the same.
It's probably because you pick it already, and it's hard to get people that are not related to both sides. And
That's why you said
Yeah.
yesterday by the chuppah, right after the chuppah comes to Sechel Yichud.
They have to
The-
yeah, they have to have item. Yeah,
In our day, they read the Ketubah.
yeah,
You just explain why really. So
yeah. You have to give it someone who knows how to read it. Otherwise, it's not a little embarrassing. Beis Misha Kafatz V'Nosa.
Shabbos the mashpech on Shor Buk was mechubed to read the Ketubah by Chazana. He's like, I don't read Aram. Such honor. You want to read.
It's not all Aramaic. He just said it.
You say of a story that the Panovich Shashiv Manal of Kamen. He said they mechabim to read the Ksuba. So he said, Meseches Ksubas Kenich. Aber the Ksuba kenne ich nicht. The Shashiva, Maseches Ksubas he knows, but nicht the Ksuba. What does he know about the Ksuba?
The Marsha. The Marsha brings it.
Huh?
When the decree they should reflect the kind of
Yeah. He has more schusim than that.
thing, but
Yeah, and yeah. Heir just celebrated Heir. In Satmar, they had a big problem this year because they have some sort of minig at Satmar. I'm not sure. They say Tehillim. I don't understand what Seder they say then.
Yom Aleph, Yom Beis.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't that Yom because Hallel's in Yom Shabbos. In Hallel's in Yom Shishi. Yom Shishi is Hallel.
I think they say it's like stand 5 like per day. Something like that.
It was 3 a day.
Think.
But it still doesn't make sense.
They say
It didn't fit.
even if there was a bris over there,
They say that.
only the Moel and the Sandek, but the
In the
Tehillim
Bible verse.
changed.
I'm not sure exactly what they were talking about, but the Satmar Rebbe from Kiryas Yoel announced that because it's Hallel fell out on Heir, and it could be a chash that is saying Hallel, so should switch it over to the next day. Say Hallel the next day because
That's Hallel. It's Tehillim. It's Shabbat LaKadosh Baruch Hu.
but he's saying it on the day of Heir. Here is
I went
A
to
very-
the Torah and I say it,
Jamaat Tzamot.
but they don't say
Not with bracha.
bracha.
who says the bracha here? There are many kehilot say bracha.
Young Israel.
Yeah.
Rabbi Khan?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
This block.
No way.
Across the street.
Do they say don't say Hallel?
No.
No, Rabbi Khan is very.
He's very
So Tachna?
Really?
They think
Even though he thought he's Yeshiva University, no?
No.
No?
They don't teach anymore?
He's a real Litvak.
Yeah, very.
Where did he learn when he was younger?
He said talking last week.
He went to YU, I think, for salvation.
He learned why you, but then Rabbi Salvation didn't say Hallel?
I don't know if he helped by Shita his whole life.
Rabbi Khan.
It's very
I think he said Hallel, no? What did Rabbi
Maybe
Salvation
I
do?
should bear it.
Why you they don't say Hallel? I'd be very
The
surprised.
modern American would say about the others.
In Israel, all the modern people say Hallel. I don't.
Sure.
All the Mizrahi saying Hallel.
He knows Tanya by heart.
Who? Really?
Yosef Rambam. Yosef was Rambam.
You learn Tanya?
They give Shiurim and Tehillim twice a week.
He knows
Sometime
Rambam
ago.
by heart too.
Unbelievable. It's a big Talmid Chacham.
Yeah? Wow.
Big Talmid
He
Chacham.
knows Tanya cold.
Really?
Even
Spoken
Bet
to him?
Torah, the Sfaradim, invite him to speak there once a while. And he said, Havarat Sfaradit. He said, I have to learn that. He speak to them, Havarat. He used to come between Mincha and Mariv when I used to live there. Maybe 200 people, 300 people.
Yeah.
So, but the young Israel here on the block, who's the rabbi here?
Ron, he's Ron. He doesn't know the shop.
Young, it's
No relation.
So you don't know what they say with the bracha. They say with the bracha.
with the bracha. I think he's the only
The
one.
Bocha Levatola.
So that's good.
Don't be against them so much, please.
Yes.
They're
No,
good
actually,
Jews. All
If you
good
know
Jews.
what the Tzianot is, you say it's a Bocha Levatola.
Yeah, I said because you know.
Yes. Yes. I know you went to the Amud of
Listen to what they listen to the WhatsApp I sent
It's
you.
my arm is bracha
I'm
levatel.
going to give you to listen to Rabbi Shapira from Florida. We explain why it's so bad to say Hallel and you make Yom Ha'atzmaut a big day.
Yeah,
After the show.
It's that courtesy of listening.
You should just know that there's a letter from the Rebbe. I'm going to be in support of the letter from the Rebbe. Someone asked him, a Malamed in Kfar Chabad asked him, what should he tell the children? Maybe he wasn't about the children in Kfar Chabad, but maybe he was teaching somewhere in the Reshet. I don't know if it was clear where he was teaching, the Rifkin. And he asked the Rebbe, what should he tell the students on the day of Heir? What should be the discussion? So the Rebbe said, you should say that Hashem showed us a very great Hatzalah, and a greatness, He saved us. And however, instead of Klal Yisrael recognizing this Hatzalah and therefore coming closer to Him by keeping Torah and mitzvahs, instead, by the Hakamas Medina, they set up the Medina against Halacha, against Torah. And this was a sort of like, so it was described that was but the etzem idea that it was a Hatzalah That the Rebbe wrote that it was a big Hatzalah, a big issue of Hatzalah.
Small.
The mistake was that certain people felt that it was a geula, was a part at the beginning of the process of the geula. The beginning, we return to our homeland, and we have. So that, I think, is much harder today for people to latch on to, because even the Mizrahi movement has been very, very disappointed with the government and starting with Gush Katif and other things. So, and different things the government has been doing against from people. So it became a lot harder to hold on to this feeling that the state is the idea of the beginning of the Geula, the process of Geula.
What about?
But you have to understand where they're coming from. They're coming from a point that there was a sort of like a kibbutz galius, because Klal Yisrael was coming from all over the world to move here. And we're now in control of the land. We haven't been in control for 1900 years. So this is something very unbelievable. And you can understand why people felt this feeling of inspiration. This is the beginning of the Geula. But most of the Gedolei Yisrael were very clear this has nothing to do with the Geula. And this is sort of like we're running a city, where we have a community council, a city to run the water, the electric, the garbage. We're controlled the land, but it's nothing to do with Geula, nothing to do with Mashiach, nothing to do with Torah. Bring us close to the Torah. Baruch Hashem, we're able to rule of ourselves, and we're able to defend ourselves from, and especially after the Holocaust, we didn't have nowhere to go after the war.
Okay.
So they had to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? Countries weren't allowing them in.
It says at the end of the Sefer about the place of Yish and Muhammad.
No, nothing to do. But just that most Gedolei Yisrael didn't accept that there was something very ruchnistic about the state.
Rabbi, when I was Hilchos with the Rabbi, me and my wife, in 81, we discussed about the army. We knew a lot about the army. In the end, he said, Kol hakavod that you served in the army. Told me, Kol hakavod that you served in the army.
Jewish lives is a whole different issue.
But he knew a lot about the army. Like a big general. Unbelievable. I think that I know, he tell me already, this and this and this.
Okay, Siv Beis. Mi shekafats v'nasa b'yam halalu ein koin tznoise kum she'asa mitzvah. Someone who did get married these days, we don't give him a knas. L'poil, he did a mitzvah. It's not the minhag to do it, but if he did it, you can't give him a knas for doing a mitzvah. Avo mi shestaper b'yam halalu. There's no mitzvah to take a haircut, so we give you a knas because you were over on the minig. So this is something when communities had the koyach to give knasses. We don't have the koyach to give knasses, so we don't give any knas.
Like Baoma, a lot of people take a haircut.
Yeah.
Sfaradim is Lamed Dalet, they don't take Lamed Gimel. Ashkenazim take Lamed Gimel.
Chabad doesn't take Hilchos.
Unless there's a pressing need. Unless it's important.
You ended 12.
Or somebody was over and they had no choice.
Yeah. There were 2 times that the Rebbe took on Lag Baimer,
Right.
the years, and but usually we didn't be based in Kabbalah not to take till after the whole.
So Erev Shavuos,
Yeah, Sarah.
Or someone has a very long hair, maybe. Someone who did not yet be Mekayim the mitzvah period, or he doesn't have anyone to help him in his older age. Even since such an individual is allowed to get married even during shloishim, and the shloishim for his parents. There's a chiyuv to have an avelus for them for shloishim. He's allowed to get married. The minig of Sefira is a minig, it's not a Isser. So definitely one is allowed to get married in these days. The minig prevails, and the minig in these countries is to be machmer, even in such cases, not to have chasanas during this time. Siv Dalek, Kishiyesh Mila B'Yam Alolu, Mutarim Bale Habris, and Hamoyel, Basanik Avia Ben, B'Yom Shulfnei Mila, Samach La'erev, Koidim Halichel Beis HaKnesses, Listaper. Before the Mila,
Night before.
the night before the Mila, before the day before the Mila, you're allowed to go to shul. Before you go to shul for Ma'ariv, you can go to take a haircut.
I think the Moya from Chabad doesn't take.
No?
I know for my brother. The minute is not a My brother was a big Moya.
We have.
He passed already to 20,000.
Who's your brother-in-law?
Levi Heba.
Eber is Sfaradi,
Hey, Beisrei. Ashkenazi.
because Eber is Sfaradi.
Hey, weiter.
Lamed Gimel Yamim. Lamed Gimel Yamim.
When it starts.
It seems that there's like a word missing here. Something. It just says 33 days and doesn't explain anything about the 33 days. It says Lamed Gimel Yamim.
Maybe he meant like Bo.
Yesh Omer, when are these 33 days? We have a machlokes here. And you have to halt cut. Yesh Omer shemaschilim yoim b'sivhei. Yoim arishin shel Sefiras Omer, u'mesayim b'lag b'Omer, shba'oisei meisu acherin shchaft al alef. Some say that they start these 33 days from the first day of Sefira, and they conclude on Lag B'Omer. Because on that day, the last students passed away. We have a minig. Some have a minig to be mar b'simcha on this day.
Elula.
Everybody tachlo. This very day they also passed away in. So haki b'simcha. Shemesu mixes mehem b'yom zeh. Kalmakim erev ingen avelos hayom ha'achrein on oimim miseim kekulik mishuk she'echte b'yodea simen shin sadik hey. The halacha is when it comes like the Shiva. The last day of Shiva mixes hayom kekulei. You don't have to have a full 7 days Shiva. They get up in the morning and they don't have a full 7 days because we're a meko for the last day. The part of the day is if you had the whole day. The same thing over here, even though they passed away in like Ba'omer itself, they finished passing away. The mixayim kekulei, and you could be mesameach on it.
He made a cheshbon. Rabbi Akiva has to go to 700 funeral every day. 700. A spreading.
Leficha kishenoyeg avel shah achas repachas v'im la alam gimel shemeneim al stapad achas shehayim alam gimel lo yidai bekach. It's enough. What is stapper like alam gimel acher she'avru mashu mehayoyim v'lisa be'isha chem alam gimel va'ilach. So he says over here that because this is the case, if you just had a little bit of the day of like Ba'omer had Avelos, then afterwards you can take haircuts, you get married, because Miksayim could call it. And also from Lamed Gimel on.
About make chassan, it's not about.
Make.
V'imchal Lamed Gimel be'echa b'Shabbos. Noyegim l'staper be'erev Shabbos be'koy the Shabbos. Like Ba'omer falls on Sunday. So the minig is to take a haircut erev Shabbos already before. Basically, you're doing it on Lamed Aleph, Ba'omer. You covered Shabbos. Because we have an idea of covered Shabbos. So together with the fact that like Ba'omer is coming up, so you're allowed to be make already out of Shabbos.
He doesn't say anything about Rosh Chodesh. Some people Rosh Chodesh take a haircut. He doesn't say nothing.
They get married to Rosh Chodesh.
We're going to see soon about Rosh Chodesh. We're going to see
This
soon.
Erev Shabbos, that was Pesach Sheni.
This Shabbos is Pesach Sheni.
This Friday.
Not this
יש לי מצות להגיד.
Not in the Kfiyah. So like Ba'omer falls on a Sunday. So Friday is Tazayin. It's not Pesach Sheni. Mikol mokim afilu b'Lag Ba'omer atz lag megimel atzma yizar sh'lestaper koydem ha'yoyim. She'ein omer l'miksa yoyim kekulei. Ava laila afilu kula ein kekol ha'yoyim. The Pascha veils ad l'machav ha'yoyim cheinem tachem l'tfilas ha'mincha she'erev ha'megimel. So, l'maisa, you have to remember that when we say the kalal, mixayim kekule, by Shiva, we say mixayim kekule. We don't say that, the nightfall, when it hits the night of the 7th, a little bit of the night, mixayim kekule, you don't have to keep the rest of the day, no. The whole night, they have to keep avelim, and a little bit of the morning. They get up after davening, right? Mm-hmm. So mixayim kekule, so the lama gimel va'omer. You have to wait till the morning, and then we say mixayim kekule. So because that's the case, the Alter Rebbe brings out that according to this opinion, you have to say Tachnun in the mincha of Erev Lag Ba'omer. Because what's the klal by Tachnun? Why do we not say Tachnun before a special day? Because that evening is a special day. In preparation for that day, already the nitzutzos of that day already are shining. We don't say Tachnun. But in a case when the night is not a Yom Tif, because it's still ba'avelus till the morning, so there's no reason not to say Tachnun in the mincha before. And that's according to this opinion. However, yesh mekoymes 3 lines on the bottom, noigin shaloi loimer Tachnun mincha sha'av lamekimol. There are those that have the minig not to say Tachnun or even mincha before, and that includes minig Chabad. The fish is soimchin shebetchilas leil amid gimel pasku avelus. Cheineim tachlon b'mincha shalofanov. By cheineim mincha b'fnei sharayam sheinem tachlon shaleilam kiyomam. This opinion holds that the night of Lag Ba'omer already stopped avelus. Not by day, the night already stopped. L'fim hagam. Based on their minig, mutarim gamkin a stopper belisa belel amid gimel. She's fidivreim in eglam islamed beziyim. According to their words, Islamic gimel, they only passed away 32 days, not 33 days. And therefore, already by night, you're allowed to get married. The night going in, and you're allowed to cut hair, listen to music. Everything is already started the night already. And that is bothered with the oilam is noig. Except for Sfardim, right? But Sfardim like Ba'omer don't do anything. The big crown, they go to Maran on like Ba'omer?
Yeah, they go to Maran, but they stop there
and Chasana.
Chasana, they do Lamedalet. They don't do Lamedalet.
I think they do it before Shkia and Lag Ba'omer, and then they continue to the night.
Now,
The dances the night before.
People, let's say, Lag Ba'omer is Monday, Sunday night already getting married.
Now, these are two opinions in the first opinion. The first opinion holds that the Lamed Gimel Yamim are the first half of the Sefiras Ha'omer. The question is the night of Lag Ba'omer already considered a Yom Tif or not? And that will depend, and that will also decide whether we could cut hair already the night of Lag Ba'omer, get married the first night, and whether we say Tachnun the day before. But now we're going to see that there is another opinion. Sivav, on Beis Ear, Messiah B'Erev Shavuos. The Lamed Gimel Yom are the second half of the day, the Sefiras Ha'omer days, and they finish Erev Shavuos. Even though you're allowed to get married, cut hair in Lag Ba'omer, The problem is the second opinion. How are people having a simcha like Baimer? They're in the middle of the Avelos. If you hold the Lama Gimel Yamar, the first Lama Gimel Yamim, Slavic Baimer, everything's finished. But if you hold on Lama Gimel Yamar, the last Lama Gimel Yamim, then like Baimer is in the middle. So how could you have simcha like Baimer? Since they only have like Baimer simcha after part of the day went by, Mixayim Kakule. It's in the middle of the Avelos, not at the ending. Mixayim Kakule is only the ending. The Shita is Meikul that you could say Mixayim Kakule even in the middle. Based on this opinion, there's a second opinion. That they have a minig to take haircuts and get married throughout all the Shloishis Mei Hagbala 3 days before Shavuos.
Why do they do?
They don't take a haircuts and get married on Rish Chodesh. In order to have the full Amid Gimel Yom, they have to go back 2 days. And
these people, they start taking a haircut 2 days before Shavuos already, even though it's.
In order for them to gain the Shoshim Hagbala, they go backwards 2 days. And the first day, the Shoshim Hagbala, the night is still considered Avelos.
Dalet Sivan was very good day for the Jews. You know that? Because I was born in Dalet Sivan.
They wanted a cheesecake.
What did you ask, El?
Why do they do music a Lag Baimer if they start in Bezier? If it's middle,
That's a big question.
That day they're not Avelos. That day is not Avelos.
Why?
Because it's like wrong.
Well, if Lag Baimer, they stopped dying, but we're saying that they started dying.
But because of Shem Baruchai, they don't say. Yeah.
So that's what the Psalms want to say. They want to say, the Divin Nehemiah wants to say that it must be because of Shem Baruchai, because Shem Baruchai is passing. Because the Matat Hamid Rabbi Kiva doesn't make sense to be mafsik in the middle.
Right.
So it must be that we take a pause because of the Hilul of the Rashbi.
Yes.
Take a pause in the middle. In Nigla, it doesn't say this. In Poiskim, does not say anything about the Hilul of Shemei Chai. Doesn't say a word about it. This is something Kabbalah and Chassidus. But in Poiskim and Shulchan Aruch, the Poiskim do not bring down.
Right, but the story in the Gemara is of Shem Baruchai saw the Malach looked like with 30 mountains, and he asked what you do. He said, the Rebbe should send me to destroy the world. So he said, no, don't go to the Rebbe Shadon, because like Shloshim Tzadikim, when Shloshim Tzadikim tell him, then he said, even two Tzadikim, me and my son. Then he said, even if not two Tzadikim, just me. The Rebbe Shadon says, like, it's funny. Yeah.
But where does it say that it doesn't like Boimer? It doesn't say that it was unlike Boimer, the little Rashbi. This, it says, maybe in Eitz Chaim. In Nigla doesn't say, but it seems that that's the poskim are not saying clearly, but that's what it is. Because what other reason why should be mafsik in the middle of Alam and Gimel Yamin? By the way, there are shittas that hold that the Alam and Gimel Yamin was not the beginning half or was not the ending half. The Alam and Gimel Yamin, they were passed away throughout the entire time from Pesach to Tzeres.
So it's more than that.
But not on any day that you don't say Tachnun. Not on the Shabbosim, not on the Yom Tov, Pesach.
Will take off.
Take that off.
What about Torah Shchodesh, the whole month of Nisan?
Yeah.
It will be 33 days.
Yeah. It's a whole discussion of Pascal how you make the cheshbon. The very first sheet has said that actually Boi Bayim Pascal Lamas doesn't fit with that. That Boi Bayim Pascal Lamas. But other sheets hold that that's what happened.
So what they did before Rabbi Akiva and Rashbi, what the Jews did?
Well, like Baimer. No. Good question. They didn't do anything.
It was like 1500 years.
No, a lot of Hasidim don't say Tachnen to the whole week of Hoyd.
The whole week of Hoyd.
Whole week of Hoyd, starting from Pesach Sheni. They don't say tachlis that way.
Sure.
Shumi,
I hear you.
Why don't Chris Levan?
What about Ari Wallman?
Why be working?
Siv Zayin. Im yesh le safek min hagamakim.
No, you want to learn this case.
So what about the minhagim? There are various minhagim. What is the minig? If you have a suffix about what is the minig? Any yacholitis kuli hamanhagim. You can't say, let me take the leniencies of both minhagim. You won't start until Rish Chodesh Iyar. Also, you can follow the other opinion, the first opinion, that like Baimer on, there's no Marvelous. The first opinion. Why can you do that? You should keep it base. Kulis able soisis zu. They're contradictory. Now the Yacholitis Chumrei Hamanagim you can machmer. Shenig isimi Pesach va'ad erev Shavuos oy ad yom rishon shel Hagbala. Puts like Baimer. Ba'af shnei beis chumash soisis zu. I am doing two chumash that are contradictory to each other. Einei kiksil ha'helot b'chayshech. Kivan is not a fool that's walking in the dark. She also came machmas a suffix. She nistapically is a minute who iker. The komokim in sarach lasis came. Yachol litfis is a minute she yurtza. Yechosh a minute mekoid makam as a ine king. Shavelos and a minute ba'alma ein lahach misveikoi. You're not mechuyev to do this. You're allowed to take on both from this, but you're not mechuyev. I don't know. I know Lubavitch takes on both chumras.
There are two people to Dalamaya, so let's stop, please.
Okay. I don't know about other groups. I think most groups don't do all the days, but in Chabad they do all the days.
Right.
Okay, Rabbi say we're going to take to that Maidav now. And Shekoyach everyone for joining.
Koyach, thank you. Thanks, Koyach.
Good to see everyone.